Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So I want to talk about the current shenanigans going on in the gaming industry. In particular, it's the price increases. Nintendo recently announced that their upcoming Nintendo Switch titles will be priced at $80 for digital versions, which you don't even own, and $90 for physical copies, which is pretty steep. And this move has definitely set a new standard for AAA games, and let's be honest, other publishers are going to follow suit. And that means that gaming is slowly becoming more inaccessible, especially for newcomers trying to get into the hobby, in particular with the new video game adaptations currently going on with The Last of Us Season 2, which just recently come out. And gaming is already too expensive. As an average gamer, I already feel like games are getting too pricey. On top of buying the game itself, you often even have to pay to play the game. And what I mean by that is just online memberships like PlayStation Plus, which ultimately adds up very quickly. And then there's the hardware. Between Nvidia's outrageous GPU prices currently going on and the PS5 Pro costing $700, gaming is turning into a luxury hobby. So for someone who's never gamed before and perhaps wants to get into the hobby, the cost alone might be enough to push them away and find fun in something cheaper and more accessible perhaps. And Nintendo's pricing is just the start. Now, I get that Nintendo games may not personally excite you, and honestly, most of us thought that GTA 6 would be the title to introduce the next, price standard. But here we are, Nintendo made the first move, and that means all the big players such as Sony, Microsoft, Rockstar are likely going to raise their prices as well. And that sucks, man, because if this becomes the norm, we're looking at $80 base game prices becoming standard, which means that if you want to buy just 4 or 5 games over the lifespan of your console, you've already spent the equivalent of how much it costs to get a brand new one. And if anything, this makes the argument of getting a PC even more appealing. Given how things are going, the argument for saving up and building a gaming PC is becoming stronger and stronger. And yes, the initial cost is high, there's no denying that, and certainly higher than how much a console would cost. Over time, PC though saves a lot of money, or at the very least breaks even with consoles. So you actually end up getting much more flexibility if you move to PC. Steam has constant sales, indie titles are much cheaper on PC, and you can find great deals on other platforms like the Epic Games Store and even G2A. Meanwhile, console games are locked behind walled gardens such as Sony for PlayStation and Microsoft for Xbox. That means that they can do sales when they want to, not because they have to. And more freedom means that you get more value. On a PC, you're not just limited to gaming. You can watch YouTube, browse the internet, do schoolwork, or work all on the same device. And short consoles can do a few of these things as well, but they're still primarily gaming focused machines and gaming only. And the PC game library is much bigger. Early access titles, tons of indie games, mods, and the variety is well beyond the scope of this video. So if you're looking to stretch your dollar, I think it's becoming much more difficult to even come close to the PC ecosystem. Overall, the pricing increase I think is a very bad move for the industry, with the economy being what it is. Tariffs, inflation, rising living costs. Most people don't have extra money lying around to throw at overpriced games. Making gaming more expensive just ultimately pushes people away. And let's not forget about the anti-consumer behavior that this will lead to. Publishers are trying to squeeze loyal fans that are still remaining for every cent that they can get, which we've already seen that with Nintendo, and it's likely other companies will jump on the same bandwagon, and it's definitely not a good direction. And this could ultimately hurt the industry, make it harder for new players to join, stifling creativity and pushing developers to play it safe, given that there isn't as many people that could potentially buy their game as they would like. And we're even already seeing that with the endless amount of remakes and remasters. The Last of Us being the perfect example, with the most recent complete edition that was just released, which is priced close to $100, which is insane given how old the game is at this point. And to just conclude, I love Mario Kart and I think Nintendo IPs are amazing, but the fact that the new Mario Kart world is open world doesn't mean it's worth $90. especially when the open world looked quite empty in the direct, and Nintendo didn't really justify the price increase, which I was hoping that they would try and do, maybe add a free DLC later down the line. So in effect, you're buying the base game and the DLC on top of that for the $90, but I guess not. And they claimed that they're just using variable pricing, but let's be honest, it just seems like an excuse to push margins even higher. And at the end of the day, this could be the start of a trend where more and more games are priced well beyond what they're worth. And curious to see what happens with GTA 6, as I do think that Rockstar is likely to follow the Nintendo's lead, or maybe even go even higher. Either way, this is something that we just have to wait and see what happens. And thank you so much for watching. If you found this video interesting or perhaps even useful, give it a like and consider subscribing if you're new. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think about the new price increases? Is it justified in your opinion? And yeah, it will be cool to see what you guys think.